Danny, I like to call you your name in the film, or, yeah. It's really touched my heart when I watched the scene of the call you made to your son um, before the final battle.
Yeah.
That was really heartfelt. And yeah, so could you tell us a little bit more about how you worked with Bao to come up with the scenes that very removed from the martial arts fighting and everything? So how did you manage that?
Well, at the core of the story are the friendships, the relationships that each character has with each other. More importantly, for Danny, it's the relationship that he has with his son, and his relationship is with his estranged wife. And I think in that instance, he's struggling. He's trying to figure out what the balance is, and he's trying his best to be the best parent he can, but there are so many other things that he's juggling too. So when Bao and I spoke about the character, it's really important to dive in and find a hook or something that you can relate to with his character. And for me, I'm a father too, and when I read the script, my son was 4 at the time, and he's getting older, and he started to ask questions, and so those little things that I experienced at the time and now as a parent, I used a lot of that in understanding the Danny character. But I remember that particular scene that you mentioned. We shot like a full day of, was it the fighting stuff? I forget, but it was a long day, and that was the last scene we had to shoot, and we were driving around all over Seattle, and I was getting car sick. Because I get motion sickness, I get really bad motion sickness. Yeah, so I was like, oh my God, I gotta get this thing done. But that was a moment that was really important for the character in terms of transitioning and finding a way to really sum up the courage to basically stand up to a bully. Something that he's trying to teach his son too. So
yeah, that was great. Mr. Hing, love your scenes, and could you please tell us about how did you come on the project, and how was it the experience working with Bao and the cast members?
Yeah, it was through Yuji, because me and Yuji have known each other for over 20 some years, and he called me and said, hey, I want you to read the script, and he told me about the script and about Bao, and I said, yeah, I'll give it a read. And when I read it, I was amazed. I loved it. I was like, I'm down, I'm in. And then when we met Bao, I just thought Bao was awesome because we talked about it, but then we improv. We got together for rehearsals actually about 2 weeks before. We all went up to Seattle, and Bao set up these improvs, and that's where I got to meet, Miguel, and also we worked together before, so me and Elaine worked together on a video game, but we didn't really get to really bond. So when we did these improvs, it was just, we started clicking, and then by the time we got up to Seattle, I think we were just like, when we all got there, we were just mealing away like breakfast, lunch and dinner and stuff, and talking about the script and stuff. But I have to say that Bao and the producers provided this environment for all of us to be so comfortable as actors and to really engage in our characters. And it was probably, like, from an independent experience, probably one of the best experiences you could possibly have. So, yeah, it was great.
Great job. And of course, Miguel, could you please share with us your journey with the film crew?
I'm just gonna echo pretty much everything they just said. I think what's important, what we just keeps resounding inside of my head is like, I think at the essence of, in everybody there's goodness. Everybody kind of knows the code about honor and discipline and integrity and doing what you say and meaning what you say. And I think that we took this journey as men who believed in that and opened ourselves up to that trickling even into our real lives. So it was really, I didn't just walk away from this film like I have many others. I'm really pleased with the work, but I think it made me almost a better person, because the experience in it can really affect your actions outside of it. So it's really nice to watch the. I just looked at Ron when we finished, and I was like, yo, that's a hell of a story. I just feel like the same journey we went on when we were in Seattle as brothers, you guys got a chance to feel with the film. I couldn't ask for anything more. So it's like magical for me. So.
All right. And of course, the OC homegrown. Yes, yes.
Marshall Club in the house, where you at?
How did you find Bao? How did you get involved with the project? And did you fly up to Washington to do the shooting?
Okay, so this project, actually, there's a history. About 5 years ago, I'd say, maybe even longer. Bao reached out to me, and he wanted to do a short. For anyone who's followed us on YouTube for over 5+ years, we had a short out, collaborated with Bao called The Challenger. And that, at that time, that was kind of like a sizzle reel and a pitch for what became the Paper Tigers. So for me to see it come from that to this, for me, it's mind-blowing. And then years later, I've seen the progress of how, funding and everything got together, and just how the project was coming together. And Bao reached out to me years later, and he's like, yo, we want you in this film. Pretty much, as you guys can see, we practically played ourselves in this film. A bunch of martial arts misfits, from the street. We're self-taught for the most part. I mean, I've trained a little bit, but for the most part, I'd say 90% of what we do, and on YouTube and everything, we're all self-taught. And we have an ambition to earn our spot, and that's where the fire is, and that's where we find the most the similarities in our characters. So really, it wasn't really any acting. We were just being ourselves. Yeah.
Would you like to add anything? Philip and Andy? Brian, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Philip and
Oh, I
Brian.
gotta go after that? Well, all right, what's up?
Would you like to add anything to the comments?
Yeah, I would just like to say this whole production was, you putting words, yo, freaking, Okay, in terms of the acting, Bao was very open-ended in terms of letting us ad-lib. Like, he let us throw in our own flavor a lot, and which I really liked, because I believe each actor has their own character, and everyone wants to express themselves in like a different way. And I really liked how Bao, he left it open for every actor to do pretty much. And in terms of the action, Ken, Sam, and Carrie, they were also very open with letting us do our own thing. And as Martial Club, we really want to put our stamp in the world of martial arts action filmmaking. And yeah, and everything worked out how it should have been. It's lit, yo, yeah! I'll pass it over. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Hi, guys. Yeah, so 2 or 3 years ago, it's been 3 years ago, I auditioned for just one of the roles, and I came up to Seattle, read some lines, did a little workout. Unfortunately, that was like, hey, we have our cast, and good luck, and thanks for coming. So I was like, hey, you know what? Just keep in touch. I do YouTube. I make these Vietnamese sketches. They're kind of crazy, but check it out. And a year later, he calls me. He's like, hey, I got this role for you, Chief Punk. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do this. Let's go and do this. He's like, oh, Andy and Brian are coming. I'm like, okay, cool. And for me, I make a lot of cool sketches, like just random stuff that I like to do on my YouTube channel. And for him to create a movie, seeing this Vietnamese director create this movie, I'm just like, you know what? This is awesome. I'm just gonna, come along, learn, contribute, because we need a lot of, creators of color to represent in this industry. It's a really, really difficult industry to break into, So I commend Bao and the whole crew and all the producers putting 10 years plus just, having to make this movie and turning down all this big money just to keep his vision and keep his, he wanted, the Asian lead, he wanted to tell the story the way that he wanted to tell, and that's very commendable to, go through all of that, the difficulty to create this movie, and to me that's very special. And for me to be a part of this, not doing this from day one, not knowing where it's going to take us, and us being here now, it's like the best feeling in the world. So please give him a hand, and please give all the producers a hand, and the whole cast and crew. But thank you for having me be a part of this, Bao. I really appreciate this, and hope we can do it again.
Oh, thank you, Philip. And before opening the Q&A to the audience, I just have a couple more questions. Bao, making a film is already hard, and encountering a pandemic last year just make it harder and harder. So could you share with us your experience going through all of these challenges?
Yeah, I mean, as Philip mentioned, we basically spent about 10 years all told to get to here today. So we're very thankful as far as the journey that we've been in. Obviously, we thought it would happen sooner than we wanted to, but everything happened on time. We actually shot and finished got everything in the can before the lockdown. In Washington State, there was a lockdown that was rather early before the rest of the country. So we got everything done before lockdown, and then during lockdown, we were in edit and we were in post-production. So fortunately, all things considered, we were able to continue on without any delay. And then we were invited to a world premiere at Fantasia out of Montreal, which was virtual that year. So again, we were able to kind of just continue on as best we could, and the opportunities were opening up in just a way. Obviously, during pandemic, everyone was trying their best. The film festivals wanted to still have a community engagement, so they wanted to go virtual. I know a lot of other filmmaker friends who decided to, hold their film. They're still holding their film because they wanted a physical thing. But for us, we saw any opportunity and we just took it. Anything door that opened, we would go into it. So, so for us to be here today is just an incredible testament to the work that of the folks that you see here, but also the opportunities that we have in our collaborators. We were acquired by Wogo, so now we have theatrical distribution, and we're releasing we are in limited theatrical release this weekend. So we're in 70 screens in the middle of pandemics, which is incredible. So
Yeah, it's incredible, and they need all of your love and support at this time. So please spread the word call your family, call your friends, and the film is on VOD as well as in theaters. So please check on the website, papertigersmovie.com. And now I'd like to open the Q&A to the audience. Please raise your hand and ask the questions. Yes?
First off, congratulations on the movie. And I found it very, very relatable and very well written. And it seems to me like it's a story that's very, very personal. It seems covered in the fingerprints of someone who's steeped in the culture, specifically martial arts culture in America, Chinese martial arts culture in America. I was wondering if you could tell us about your upbringing and about what it was that inspired you to write a story like this.
Yeah, so do I need to repeat the question? Did everyone hear it pretty clear? It's about kind of the history of the story and the history of the what kind of reflected the Chinese martial arts and the Asian American experience. How that kind of came about. It really is just kind of telling a story that I knew, like from my upbringing. So I'll speak to that. First generation Vietnamese American born here. First of my family that was born here in America. But also growing up watching Hong Kong movies at home, with all these tapes at home from Chinatown and video stores, mom and pop video stores, and then watching, Hollywood movies, James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, and just taking it all in, and all that storytelling. And so that gave me an appreciation for all types of genres, all types of storytelling. It was all about what was connecting with the people or the audience was most important. So that's, kind of, we call it, whatever, genre fluid, or whatever word you would call this film, I never felt any type of barrier in terms of like wanting to tell the moods of these characters. And because of that, I could go places with the experience that I was feeling. Because sometimes if you've done martial arts, there's a lot of silly people. And it's very funny, actually, when you look at how crazy people there are growing up, who do martial arts, because it attracts all kinds. But also there's the serious things of learning life lessons and kind of the tools that you need to become, a better human being with martial arts. So that's the whole thing. But also Asian America, like we haven't seen a Kung Fu movie really from the Asian American perspective or Asian North American perspective. We've seen martial arts movies that are set in China or set in Hong Kong. That's kind of like a different world. But for us to have to deal with multicultural classmates, that was my upbringing. We had classmates that were all colors and stripes. So it was really just telling the story that I only kind of knew and experienced and give truth to that. And, couldn't do anything other. So really it's just a reflection of all that. And also Seattle. We shot in Seattle and it's set in Seattle, and Bruce Lee obviously has a huge shadow over us. As far as he first came to America, he spent his time there. He's went to school there. He opened his Kung Fu school there. He met his wife there. He learned English. He learned how to meet, people that weren't Chinese and teach people that weren't Chinese. So that was like, him splashing down on the deep end of the pool and understanding what American culture was. And we still kind of receive the fruits of that today. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. He's still buried there. So yeah, his presence is, very much felt. And so all this is that love letter or, paying homage or somehow paying tribute to, the giants that we stand on. So.
Thank you, Bao. Well, since you mentioned Bruce Lee, Lee Long, I'd like to ask you, the choreography is amazing, and you have so many martial artists on the crew. How did you come up with the choreography and how, everyone cannot just fight whatever, right? So could you say a few words about, tell us about the choreography of the film?
Yeah, I mean, all that is a tribute to our action team, our action director, Ken Kidgwa, who's actually also the villain that you see in the man with the 12 packs. I believe it's by last count, it's about 10 packs. Yeah, 10, 12, yeah. So he's also our action director. And, it's kind of following the Hong Kong style, is that it's an action unit that works with these actors almost separately and rehearse and basically tailor the type of action to the way Elaine moves, to the way Ron moves, to the way Mikhail moves, and just understanding and designing action around that. So we always kind of walk hand in hand with Ken, because we've done many short films. We had many short films that screened at VIF many years ago. So Bookie was a short film that we had made together. So we've worked together and trusted each other, and really that was the only way to make it work, to be able to make so many things happen on screen together. So.
Yeah, I love Bookie too. Bookie was a short film that Bao made in, is it 2007? Yeah, and we show at VIF Film Fest. Is one of the rare, great martial arts shorts, and actually the bad guy in this film was the main character of Bookie. So the martial arts genre is something that we can all feel connected to in some way, right? And this is it also has a family elements in it, and not just martial arts, but also family, as well as other themes like friendship, loyalty, honor. So this is fantastic. It's amazing. Do you have any other questions? Oh yes, please.
I don't know how to word this, but the timing-wise of the release of this film and the timing of the Asian crime hate and Black Lives Matter, the timing of this release, how do you think this movie, to the public, how it would impact the public with, I wanted to open it up to anyone that wants to answer. Personal responses at how you guys personally feel. I mean, we're all minorities here. I know we all probably feel a lot strongly. I don't know if anyone wants to share. Anyone in this room, honestly, if we can just open that up. I mean, I personally, I feel a lot, right? But I don't know how to deal with it, especially being a martial artist. So it's open discussion for anyone.
No, that's a really great question. I just came back on Friday from doing a anti-Asian hate video in New York, and I think I really hope the audiences respond strongly to this, because I feel it's very current. This film shows true solidarity, you know, between our leads. And even behind the scenes, we had, you know, POC crew, POC cast, and everyone, it was all about love and passion, you know, and you could see it on this film. So I really hope, you know, the message of solidarity and, you know, just a brotherhood, sisterhood, you know, can really get out there.
As an African American man, I got some really good news, which is like the African American male has been under attack for a very long time in this country. They've called it hate, they've called it whatever. But flying to Seattle and being part of, this is the first time I've ever really, I'm from the South. You know, it was like eye-opening to be part of this experience and caught up in the Asian culture and embraced as I was. And I'm here to tell you, the love that is rooted in the culture is going to outlive the lies. Like, you just wait that out, right? Because at the end, they can say whatever they want to say when there's no truth in it. You just hold on to what you are, you stay true to what you believe, you keep pushing forward with love like you do. Because when I got to Seattle for the 6 weeks I was there, I was just in awe at how much love and warmth and, I mean, I don't run anywhere by myself. But in Seattle, I was running all over the place because I just felt like I could. So I'm here to tell you that I know as far as in my culture, when we listen to that, it's just nonsense. It makes no sense, really. And I promise you this, it ain't gonna happen around me. Like, and nobody I roll with. So like, it will die like the rest of the lies, and we will rise like the rest of it. And this film, hopefully, is a spearhead so that people can like see the similarities. Because really, the reason we all really get along is because the culture is like this with black culture. Really, it's crazy. We were like singing the same rap songs. I'm like, you grew up on that, bro? And he's like, these dudes are like, it's crazy. So I just think that our style, the way we dress, the way we are as people, what we hold dear, it's just too much in common for it to be. Don't let it, sometimes you have to just hold solid, stay true to what you know is real, and the fake will fall. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
I just want to hop in really quick. So, speaking on behalf of, our film, is that, our existence as a film is a statement in its own, where this Asian hate is not new. We have to remember that, is that it has always existed. It's just the megaphone has been hijacked. And that our existence is a statement because just 5 years ago, we had a lot of pushback about, casting this leading cast, and 10 years ago when, we pitched this movie before Crazy Rich Asians and Black Panther movement, and we saw firsthand how much everyone loved the story but did not like the image that was, the leading, group here. And so now that, this megaphone is kind of like riling up people to, go against each other, this, the Paper Tigers is a statement in its own that, we are here. It took us 10 years to get here. Last year we had 10 screen commitment to be in theaters, and today we're over 70 screens. And at an indie level, at a POC level, we're making a statement, and that you have to remember as consumers right now is that the term representation is being hijacked by a lot of big companies and studios, is that representation is not a plug and play type of marketing scheme where you just take a simple movie and add in an African American or add in a simple Asian and make it and call it representation. That's not representation. This is representation. That the representation started behind the camera, and therefore we chose who was in front of the camera. And so that is true power. That is where we should start. That's where we should move from here on out. And so I just want, you know, everyone to remember that, you know, this is what representation means.
Thank you for the question and thank you for the answers. Oh, Brian? Oh, Andy.
Is my on? Hello, hello.
Get it, Andy!
All right. I'm not. Oh shoot. Okay. I'm not sure what I want to say, but I know I want to say something. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna speak from a martial arts standpoint. So for me, right, growing up, we're minorities, and like you said, being bullied. This isn't nothing new. We were always told we were never enough, right? And for me, I don't know, for whatever reason, growing up, I had pick on me on my forehead. So I was always that kid, you know? And the one thing that always like empowered me was kung fu movies, was martial arts movies. So you gotta imagine, like a kid like me, I was fat, you know, and going home to those VHS tapes, watching Wang Fei Hong, you know? Or Bruce Lee movies, Fist of Fury, you watch one Asian guy kick the shit out of 10, you know? It's like, it's empowering, you know? And that, like, and up to this day, like, martial arts is my life. And that really, that defines who I am. And that's why I do what I do, and that's why Martial Club is Martial Club, that's why. So, for this film, the fact that it's a martial arts film and it carries that spirit, the martial arts spirit and that empowerment, I will always stand behind this film. So, go support Paper Tigers. Let's go. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, we're running
I don't know if that
out of
answered the question, but.
It's good, it's good. So we do need more films like the Paper Tigers to highlight the Asian American voices, to highlight the diversity. We're running out of time, so my last question to the cast and crew members. 10 years is kind of long, so what's your next project? And I hope that we will get to see something faster than 10 years. So, Bao, would you like to take the question first?
I think everybody wants a sequel with a bartender, right? That's what everybody wants. So I'm just working on that. No. Well, Andy Lau, bartender. Yeah, Andy Lau's bartender. We are, I mean, I think we're all so fully focused on trying to see how this releases. I mean, it's such a full-time effort. So it's hard for me to kind of like think on to next things. I am kind of noodling on some ideas. So hopefully there's some time that exists after the smashing success of the Paper Tigers. I can sit down and write down a little bit more and focus. So I'm not a great multitasker in that sense. So I do need to kind of turn off eventually to write. Yes.
Yeah, you have received a lot of press coverage. The New York Times, the LA Times, Variety, all of the press coverage, the Seattle Times. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyone would like to share his next?
100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
It's the same thing that Bao said. I think for me, I'm just really focused on this particular project. It really is hard to move forward beyond this because they've worked so hard to get to where we're at now. And it really is incumbent for you guys, the audience, to really help us spread the word, to get this out to all your friends and everybody else. Because, speaking on the behalf with your question about representation and what this film does, at the end of the day, it's about sharing stories and sharing the humanization of who we are as people. So to see someone like Danny who's going through, fatherhood, stuff that is just everything that we go through, it just humanizes everything. And I think that's what is important for me. So it's hard to think past this particular project. We just got to get the word out. So help us out, guys. Just tweet, do all what you can do to get it out there. And Martial Club, holla.
All right.
Yeah!
Martial Club.
I'm kidding.
I just want to add to that too. It's so important. Like for me, growing up, I was a victim of a lot of racist stuff, a lot of racist violence, and it was the black community that embraced me, and it was my black brothers that bled for me, and then whenever they heard the C word, you know, everything, chink, gook, you know, whatever, Jap. And then I bled for them when I heard the N word. So right now I know we're seeing a lot of black and brown on yellow. And we just have to just stay true, because this country is black, brown, yellow, and white, not just white. And right now, you know, there's certain agendas of certain people that want to push black and brown on yellow. It's not. We're all together in this as one. So we have to remember that. You know, hopefully y'all could look out for the video that we just did in New York. Kind of shows, you know, the young lady with the last question, and it's very important. It was an important message for all of us to show more solidarity and get these positive messages across. And look out for Don't Give Up, and hopefully we'll have that out in a couple of months. But like Elaine was saying, right now, I think the Paper Tigers is something so special. And it's kind of like what we're all saying. It's the fact that it exists is special. So I'm blessed to be a part of it, and thank you all for supporting.
I'm gonna pretty much echo everything they've said. I just want everybody to really understand this. Like, if you can get everyone that you know to take a little time out to enjoy this particular piece, not only does it say to the rest of them, you wrong. People of color can lead films all over the country. They can be highly successful. You'll see more of them. So the way you get rid of lies is that you put the truth in front of people over and over and over again. But if those stories can't be told, then they get to tell the stories they want. I mean, I was listening to my man back here speak about this is true representation. I can't even begin to tell you how much being part of this production was about, like, allowing us to bring what is specially unique to us as individuals to it, instead of telling us what they think is special about us. This is what I love about Bao. He opened up and all the producers just created this arena where it was like, let us see what makes you special with what we've constructed in this thing. And when you do that, you are representing. So I know there are going to be a lot of, you see how similar we all are? Like, there is no difference when you get down to it. It's all the same stories. Like, Danny's story is my story, is the white man's story, is the Mexican, it's the father's story, story of father. Like, it's so funny to me how we lose that, because there's just not enough true representation out there in these kind of projects. So if you want to see more of it, you want to be represented properly, you want the stories told honestly, you got to support them when you see them. You got to make sure everybody you know supports them when they see them. And then they will have no choice but to tell it, and tell it honestly. So let's start with PT, like, because that's all I'm thinking about till there's nothing else, no other thoughts left.
All right, so we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, one. Andy, Brian, Philip, no. Last call.
The next movie coming out. Oh, is this thing on? No. Okay, got you. Is this thing even on? This one?
The green lights should be on. Yeah.
Hey.
Hello. My check. 1, 2. Okay. Keep an eye out for next projects. There's a few in theaters, maybe like a Marvel movie or something. There's a couple more I can't speak on to yet, too early yet, but there's that. And there's a Marshall Club movie. Yeah. We're gonna lay it down right now, yes sir. We wanna, everything we spoke about with martial arts and our passion, we wanna really just have a piece of work that we can truly say is our own. So we coming up, and We're gonna do this together. Yes, sir.
Right. And please remember to submit it to Vid Film Fest because we're coming back this October 15th through the 30th, primarily online, but we will plan to have some drive-in screenings as well as some in-person screenings if the COVID-19 let us feel safe enough. So, yeah, I would like to ask something, Andy?
Oh no, I'm good. I said
Oh,
it
you
all.
good?
I laid it
Okay,
out,
you
yo.
said it. Okay, so thank you so much for staying until the very end of the Q&A. And please tell your friends, family, neighbors, everyone to come out and support Paper Tigers. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We'll see you at the next screening.
It's our pleasure to co-present the screening tonight. And I've known Bao Tran for so long. I don't know, maybe when we first started the Film Fest back in 2003, 2003, yeah. And Bao came all the way from Seattle, and he finally got this feature-length martial arts movie that he has been trying to complete for like 10 years, and then he was so excited and everything. But then the pandemic came, and Film Fest was canceled last year, so we didn't get to screen his film. But here we are today. Bala get to present his feature. So before I invite him to come up here to say a welcome remarks, I'd like to do a big shout out to a few individuals. First of all, the legendary actress Kiều Jing is in the house. We also have filmmakers Nghiêm Minh, Nguyễn Võ, who directed the work who also directed an award-winning feature called Funny Money. And we have producers Connie Nguyen from Chengdu Films. And we have producer Alan Warford. So thank you so much for coming out. And we also have local media support. I'd like to thank the Viet Daily News and Vietnam Daily News for their support. Thank you so much. And please put your hands together for director Bao Tran.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you. Welcome all to our Orange County premiere. I can't add any more sweet words than Teresa already has, so I just want to put an appreciation for this community, especially Orange County here. A special little shout out, especially for the community here, that some of our talent actually reside right here local. So I want to call out Andy Lee and Brian Lee. We also have Philip Dang, who's also got some roots and ties here. And we'll have a Q&A, but as you can see, we have a lot of our talent here tonight, so feel free to come see, visit, take pictures after the screening and chat with them. We also will have an after party afterwards, so you're all invited to that. Just a few words about Viv, and also just the importance of Teresa to us. I know she will blush when I call her the Viet film godmother for us, because she really has been a cultivating curator for voices and just nurturing in terms of all of us, making our films from shorts to features and also finding collaborators. And she always has valued the importance of meeting together in the community and finding new collaborators to work with. So you can see it in all the works that we have. So we have many older brothers and older sisters who have made films before us, and we also want to pay it forward with any younger talent and younger filmmaking voices that come after us as well. So and I think that's a testament to Teresa's example and her inspiration. So please give it up for Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa!
Without further ado, please enjoy the show. We'll have some post remarks with me and Teresa for the Q&A. But again, thank you so much, and bon cinéma. Wait.
chưa được coi cho nên chưa biết, nhưng mà cái đó có cái passion tham gia để vượt qua tất cả những khó khăn để làm được cuốn phim. Nhưng mà cũng nghe nói là cái tên nó bảo tôi xin lỗi nó bảo nước là bảo kia trời chúc mừng dạ mình chưa được nghe vâng mình nghe nói là đoàn phim công phu với nhau thì đó là cái điều mà mình muốn đến support vì trong cái tình trạng thứ nhất là làm phim đã rất khó khăn rồi, làm trong cái mùa Covid mà bây giờ ra mắt trong cái mùa ngập rồi giảm cái những người khán giả muốn đi không tất cả những điều khó khăn đó là bảo trợ hy vọng cái phim của Bảo nó là cái phim đầu tiên vượt qua tất cả những khó khăn trong mùa Covid này chiếu thì sau đây sẽ có nhiều phương pháp chiếu trong cảm ơn em chị ơi hình như là hơn.
Hello.
All right, so please come down here, the cast and crew members. I'd like to ask the three tigers to come up here.
Yeah.
King and Mikhail Shannon Jenkins. Wow, the three tigers. And Bao just told me the other day that he came up, he got the Vietnamese title for the film. It's called Tam Chỉ Ho. And I think the title, actually, the Vietnamese title is actually great because it includes the three tigers in it. Tam Chỉ Ho, three paper tigers.
And yes, if Greg's in the house in the back, can we get the second mic going on? We might be missing a mic.
And I'd like to, we have a big cast and crew who came from Seattle, so I'd like to ask all of them to come up here. Could you please come up? The OC homegrown Andy Le and Brian Le. Unforgettable, the scene at the pool. Oh my goodness, I don't know how you guys did it, but I don't know if you could do some moves up here for us later, but also Philip down. All right, and of course the backbone of the film, I'd like to ask producers, I don't know if you would like to come up here or you just wave. Please come down. Please come down. So the producers, Michael Velasquez, Alan Loon, Yuji Okimoto, So,
Dan went to find the second mic, but he'll be back.
all right.
Alan's birthday today.
Alan's birthday!
All right, I think, yeah. So, first of all, congratulations. And I'd like to, I know that you have been carrying this project for like 10 years, and now today, this weekend is amazing in Southern California. I would like to ask you, what was your inspiration to carry out this project? And yeah.
Yeah, Kalawa. Well, I think when I started making movies, I was very young, and I also started martial arts when I was very young, and I was very passionate and very enthusiastic about it. But it's one thing to do it as a hobby with filmmaking, and to turn it into a profession, it's kind of different. So it was a certain time in my life I was feeling a little burnt out about filmmaking and kind of the business side of things. So I wanted to kind of go back and look at those feelings inside about things that I was inspired by, you know, when I was growing up, and whether those things have any value anymore. So just trying to explore those emotions about martial arts, about film also, and about whether those things can still teach us anything for the future. So this is basically a story to try to sum up those emotions.
Yeah, I know your persistence of vision, that's your...
Deep meaning of the movie, especially coming out this time, it's like reunited, you know, especially the three It's amazing.
Yes, thank
Very
you.
good to show it now.
Yes.
I love your character, by the way.
Timing worked out.
Very noble.
Oh, please.
You remind me of Ham Tran.
Yes.
Yeah? You live with Ham Tran, right?
Yes, yes.
Amazing.
Why? Yeah.
I knew it comes to...
Oh, low water. I'm like the tiger. You know, I don't practice anymore.
But this is not paper tiger.
Don't run.
This is super tiger.
Don't run.
Very excellent.
Don't run. Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
You give me a big hope for the future of, movie made by art, made by Japanese. Give me the big hope.
Thank you.
Honestly. And the editing is great.
Oh, yeah, thank you. We have an editor. He's wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful team. Everybody, thank you.
Good job. Okay. What is it called?
Sauce. It's just a walk. You can walk right across this.
Walk across?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
We'll
okay.
walk over.
All right, we'll see you over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Welcome.